big breaking developing story right now is there has been a low-intensity blast outside the Israeli embassy in the national capital just at the time that the beating retreat ceremony was taking place with the Prime Minister, the President and other dignitaries of the country. No injuries. There has been some damage to vehicles though, but this is being seen as a huge security breach. The latest we're getting to you is that Home Minister Amit Shah is personally monitoring the situation very closely. Minister has spoken to the Delhi Police Commissioner and officials of the Intelligence Bureau and also sought details from the other intelligence agencies that are involved in assessing this situation and where this blast may have taken place from. Gaurav Sawant is live with us for more information. Gaurav, Amit Shah, the Home Minister, personally monitoring everything given the huge implications of what has just happened. It was a low-intensity blast. The NSG's bomb disposal team is on standby as well. Take us through the latest, Gaurav.
Shiv, Delhi Police Commissioner S.N. Srivastav has briefed the Union Home Minister Amit Shah on the latest situation, and from what sources tell India Today, the information is low-intensity blast in which ball bearings were used by the mischievous elements is what sources are saying. Windscreens of 3 cars in the vicinity damaged. The special cell of Delhi Police and the bomb team on ground taking samples for forensic examination. It is a locally assembled IED and CCTV camera images from the Israeli embassy and around are being looked at. Again, from what sources tell India Today at this point of time, Shiv, it does appear that it was a moving vehicle that seemed to have dropped something. So this was, until some hours ago, an open road, free movement of vehicles. There is a PCR at this end of the road, at the other end of the road, and very close to the Israeli embassy. But at that point of time, that vehicle close to the Israeli embassy, the PCR was on a round, is what we are being told. It was around, but not exactly there. Of course, there are additional forces that are deployed for the protection of the embassy, and a moving vehicle appears to have dropped some kind of a packet in a flower pot, which resulted in the explosion. But all of this is still being examined from CCTV images, Shiv.
So this improvised explosive device was found in a flower pot on the road divider and is likely to have been placed there from a moving vehicle so as to evade being captured on CCTV camera. The improvised device was found in a flower pot on the road divider out near Jindal House, which is just 2 houses away from the Israel embassy. It appears that it was thrown from a moving vehicle is what sources are telling us, but the forensic investigation is of course still very much on. The material used in the explosive is not known just yet, but this is a big developing story because you've got the National Security Guard, which is India's premier and counter-terror agency, with its bomb squad on site as well. The Director General of the NSG has also been spoken to. So all major agencies of the country which are involved in anti-terror operations are now directly involved in this investigation that's unfolding outside the Israel embassy. The blast took place at 5:05 p.m. This was just around the time that the beating retreat ceremony was taking place. No casualties or injuries of any kind, thankfully, but this was given the intensity of the blast, it was obviously not planned as a blast to cause any injuries. This was likely mischief to create sensation, as the Delhi police has said in a statement, even though that does not explain the huge breach, the huge security breach that someone has been able to plant an explosive in one of the most highly secured zones in the national capital, in fact in the country, and at a time when security couldn't possibly be higher, given that it's the Republic Day week, the fact that there was violence on Republic Day, and this is just outside the Israel embassy, which is arguably the most high security embassy in the country at this time. Nobody has come forward to claim any credit for what has happened, but investigations are currently on. We've even spoken to residents from nearby houses in the area who've said they heard the blast. Everything felt like it was shaking. The damage, though, is only very localized right outside the embassy, with some glass shattered in vehicles. Gaurav continues to be with me. Gaurav, are we expecting more details from the Delhi police? They've issued a one-paragraph statement, providing a glimpse of their initial assessment. Is there going to be some kind of a press release, any kind of a statement or a briefing coming up?
Shiv, so initial information they've put out just so that there is no panic and no rumor mongering is what the senior police officer told me. Right now, the special commissioner is also here, and the special cell team. So once they've put things together, they've scanned through CCTV images. They're still not giving out details of the kind of vehicle that was used, whether they've been able to get a number plate or not, whether on some other CCTV camera on an adjoining road are they able to spot something. So all of that is being examined at this point of time, and there will be a statement on the progress of investigation to find out who these mischievous elements were and what was their aim. But at this point of time, Delhi police top brass believe that this may not be the work of terrorists. This may appear to be prima facie the work of some of those who were seeking to create a sensation around the Republic Day and the beating retreat ceremonies, Shiv.
Okay, we're just getting information that... Okay, we're getting more information. We're getting more information that's trickling in right now. The Israeli ambassador to India, Ambassador Ron Malka, has just spoken to India today and confirmed that everybody in the embassy is safe. We are all fine. The mission is on high alert. We are cooperating with the Delhi police authorities and are in touch with the Ministry of External Affairs. So Ambassador Ron Malka of Israel, he's the Israeli ambassador to India, on a day when India and Israel are actually celebrating their 29th anniversary of diplomatic relations between the two countries. This blast has taken place right outside the embassy. He says that everybody is fine. The mission is on high alert. They're in touch with the Delhi police as well as the External Affairs Ministry. Gaurav, we do know that the Delhi police special cell is likely to have begun to access CCTV images from different parts of APJ Abdul Kalam Marg at this time. Any more details on that?
So both the Delhi police and the intelligence bureau, Shiv, constantly in touch with the Israeli embassy, because as you and I have reported in the past, this is one embassy which is always extremely high on the terror radar. So cooperation, security, all of that is extremely high. So CCTV images from here are being looked at. Apparently the cameras here were either not working or had been removed for maintenance. Again, that's something that is subject to confirmation at this point of time, because some CCTV camera images were available, there are issues with those images at this point of time. Again, once the Delhi police has looked at the entire bigger picture, we'll have more details, Shiv, because right now we are also looking at little bits of information that are coming in, talking to our sources, and then trying to piece together what happened. So the bigger picture may take some time to emerge, but one of the senior police officers I spoke to the moment we reached here, he seemed to indicate that this is the work of mischievous elements, the kind of crude device, that was the word that he used, that it was a very crude device that appeared to have been hurriedly assembled, and that device which had ball bearings in it, he didn't give out the nature of explosives, because he said that is the job of the bomb squad to give details. And he said once that is known, perhaps there may be a signature of who are the elements who work with these kinds, either the material or how it was put together, where it was put together. The moment they have more details, then their investigation really kicks off. Once the bomb data center and the bomb squad are able to piece together the nature of the improvised explosive device, Shiv.
Stay with me, Gaurav. Home Minister Amit Shah is personally monitoring the situation. He's in touch with all the heads of all the agencies right now, and I imagine that he's getting a minute-by-minute briefing of all developments on the ground, because this is still an unfolding story. Remember, this is a high-security zone, so this is an unfolding story. I want to once again reassure all of my viewers that we are not training our cameras at anything that the Delhi police hasn't originally cleared. So there is no question of compromising the scene at this point. There's an alert at all airports across the country after the Israel blast. Security has been enhanced at all government buildings and installations as well. there is a terror, an atmosphere of threat that is now descending on the national capital and different parts of the country. There's no nationwide alert, but there is specific security that has been enhanced at all government installations and buildings. There is a heavy deployment of security outside the Israeli consulate in Mumbai. It's a pretty large consulate that's there in Mumbai. Remember, Israeli establishments have been under attack by terrorists in the past, notably during 26/11 as well by the Pakistanis. We still don't know who is responsible for what happened today, but as a result of this low-intensity blast that's taken place right outside the Israeli embassy just about 2 hours ago, 5:05 p.m., security has been upped across consulates, across government buildings and installations and airports across the country at this point of time. It's just been 2 hours now since the blast happened. Forensic teams, bomb squad teams are on site. Amit Shah, the Home Minister, obviously looking at things very, very closely. The NSG, the National Security Guard, the premier anti-terror agency of the country, has its bomb squad on the ground as well. Gaurav, the spillover effect of this security breach in Delhi's VVIP zone means that not surprising that security has been upped at the Israeli consulate in Mumbai, at airports, at government installations across the country. That's pretty standard operating procedure, Gaurav. Okay, that question let me put to Abhishek Bhalla. Abhishek, we don't want to alarm our viewers in different parts of the country. We'd like to keep things as calm as possible. But this is standard operating procedure. When something like this happens, there will be additional security at installations and airports, and of course the Israel embassy in Mumbai.
Definitely, Shiv. I mean, those are the SOPs that are followed whenever something like this happens. We're yet to hear from either the police or the authorities or agencies, either on record or off record, whether there was any prior intelligence of this kind of an activity. But obviously at this time of the year, around Republic Day, beating retreat ceremony, not just New Delhi, but even other parts of India are on an alert. You know, there is a flurry of intelligence that usually comes in. Some is actionable, some is not. So we are yet to hear whether there was any serious threat to the Israel embassy in Delhi. But this anyway is a high security zone throughout the year. And especially at this point of the year, at this time of the year, with the farmers' protests and then what happened on January 26th, obviously the alert was higher than usual. The Delhi police says that it appears to be a case of creating mischievous sensation, to quote them. So we'll have to wait and watch and hear from the Delhi police and other authorities on the nature of the bomb blast, what kind of explosives were used. Initial investigation tells us that it was a very low intensity blast. Thankfully, no loss of life or damage to property. The authorities from the Israel embassy have also said that people are safe, there is no problem, and they are cooperating with the Delhi police and the investigators.
Gaurav, any further any more details that you're getting from your sources in government at this point of time? Very, very closely monitored situation right now. This complete area has been cordoned off, and we're seeing the effects of what has happened today in other parts of the country as well now because of the security.
Shiv, you are right. You know, one of the senior police officers that we had spoken to, he insists that this is the work of a sensation, you know, somebody who was looking to sensationalize the situation. He's saying that this prima facie, at least as of now, does not appear to be the work of a terrorist organization. It does appear that somebody put together ball bearings and some kind of explosives in a rather crude manner, put it in some kind of a packaging, and the packaging is being studied. You know, while we have some details about the kind of packaging that was used, but since that's a part of investigation, you know, we are not putting it out in public domain as of now. So it was kept in the shrubs in a flower pot on the divider, and then it went off. Now, these CCTV cameras that are being looked at, Shiv, will perhaps give more information about the vehicle, which direction it went, what are the other CCTV cameras that it's likely to be caught on, because now there's a network of CCTV cameras in this area that will give an idea about where the vehicle went after putting this device, and then we should be able to have more information about what it was. But just ball bearings and just 3 cars is the damage, is what this officer said. On the aspect that, you know, this is 26 January, the beating retreat ceremony that's still on, high security in this area at this point of time, and how could somebody do it? He says this is an open road at this point of time. Anybody can go up and down that road while there are PCRs at both ends. You know, that point of time it wasn't detected at 5:05. The moment it went off, the entire system is in place to try and figure out how it happened and who did this, Shiv.
Stay with me, Gaurav and Abhishek. I want to go across to Mumbai now. The images you're seeing on your screen right now are from outside the Israel embassy in Delhi. But like Gaurav and Abhishek have been reporting, as a result of what's happened with this low-intensity blast, security has been hiked outside the Israeli consulate in Mumbai as well. Vidya is outside the Israeli consulate in Mumbai. Vidya, just take us through what's happening there. Not surprising at all that security has been increased there.
Well, Shiv, remember 26/11 and the Chabad house?
Yeah.
Certainly consequences of terror attacks Mumbai has already seen, and which is the reason why right outside the Israeli consulate, I'm located at Lower Parel, where this entire office on the 13th floor of this building is the Israeli consulate. And right here you can see marksmen, you can see a dog squad as well as the bomb disposal squads. All of them, in fact, all these, the dog squad and the bomb disposal squad went up on the 13th floor. Sanitize the entire 13th floor, the entire building has been sanitized, and after that all these people are here on guard waiting, you know, just trying to ensure that there is nothing untoward that really happens. Just about every vehicle that goes in and out, every person who's going in and out of the building is being checked. But right here you can see almost everyone here on guard, and it's not just this particular location, Shiv. Almost every police station, more than 90 police stations in Mumbai, all of them are on high alert, including the one here at Lower Parel and the one at where the Chabad house is located.
Okay, stay with me, Vidya. Our Foreign Affairs editor, Geeta Mohan, also joining our coverage. Geeta, today happens to be the 29th anniversary of India-Israel relations. Should we be reading anything into the fact that today happens to be that date?
Shiv, it is a very significant day, and yes, there are elements that the agencies, not just Delhi police authorities, would be looking into, whether if this is messaging against India, Israel, particularly Indo-Israel ties. Having said that, not the first time that we're seeing attacks against the Israeli mission, or for that matter diplomats. We've seen magnetic bombs being attached to their cars, where diplomats' wife and child were there in the car. The diplomat's wife was very badly injured in that accident many years ago, and now we're seeing yet another incident take place right outside, or very close to the Israeli embassy. I spoke with the Ambassador Ron Malka, confirming that yes, there was an incident that took place and that they are in touch with Delhi police authorities, but also confirmed that everybody within the embassy, be it diplomats or the staff of the embassy, are safe and are fine. They're also in touch and are in conversation with the Ministry of External Affairs. So they are in touch at all levels when it comes to security officials, as also diplomatically with the Ministry of External Affairs officials with regards to the incident and the precautions that the Israeli mission takes, the kind of cooperation that is required from the embassy with regards to sharing of information, maybe CCTV footage with the Delhi police authorities. Ambassador Ron Malka clearly spelling out that the embassy officials are fine, and that the mission officials are in touch with the security officials, as also with MEA.
Okay, so the embassy officials are now in touch with the Delhi police as well as the Ministry of External Affairs. Additional security outside the Israeli consulate in Mumbai. Special alerts have been issued to airports around the country. Government installations are also on alert. But this isn't, I don't want to alarm our viewers. There is no nationwide alert as such. Just specific establishments have been asked to be on alert with additional security. And the reason for that is, even though this was a low-intensity blast that took place, the fact that it took place in the VVIP zone outside the Israel embassy is significant. It's over to you, Gaurav. I understand that there are some things happening on the ground where you are.
So Shiv, now the officers who were coming in, whether from the Delhi police or the intelligence bureau and one from the National Investigation Agency, those officers are now leaving. We are told that the samples, again through sources, that the samples that they wanted to collect, those samples have now been collected and will be taken for forensic examination. Again, this road remains completely cordoned off for any civilian movement, for any outside movement. Only police officers and the forensics team, they've gone in. And also, of course, there are other VVIPs who stay on this road. So their protection detail is the only one that's been permitted to go in, apart from the Israeli embassy, investigations team. But apart from that, all the officers who came out, Shiv, we repeatedly tried to speak to them. No comments just as yet. But later in the evening, we are likely to hear and get some more information, Shiv, in terms of what initial investigations revealed about the nature of the explosives, because that will be a big tell on who these elements were who were involved in creating this sensation and mischief outside the Israeli embassy, Shiv.
Okay, mischief in order to create sensation is the formal assessment that's been shared with the press by the Delhi police. They're on the ground, the special cell, in a very big way. I want to bring you a quick update that we're getting in right now. The Central Industrial Security Force, those are the security forces. I'd like all of our reporters to stay back with us. And I'm going to come back to the story after a very, very short break. We're taking a very short break, developing story, more information for you when you come back. Stay with us.